First, I'd like to give a shout out to Jim from South Padre Island in Colorado Springs. He gave me the idea about doing this little video here. It's about rigging for nymphs. This is my little sweet galvan, and this is the actual reel that I use when I go fly fishing. And I'll be rigging this up if I were to go fishing, for example, on the Rio Costilla, on the Los Pinos, or the Conejos, or maybe one of my local streams here in the Gemes. And these are the nymphs I'm going to be rigging up eventually. I got a unconventional gold rib hare's ear, I got a beadhead pheasant tail, and I got a chocolate emerger. Jim asked me to do a short little clip how to rig up for nymphs or nymph rigging, and that's what I'm going to try to do here. Fly fishing with nymphs is a very productive method to catch trout. 90% up to 90% of a fish's diet is below the surface of the water. There are many ways to fish a nymph, and that's works for whoever uses them. But this is the method that I teach in my workshops and that I have used in actual guiding. What is a nymph? A nymph, in a general term, is an immature life stage of, in this case, an aquatic insect. Okay, what do you use? Okay, after a while you would develop a knowledge of how to recognize insects in the water, and that might be an idea for a future video of matching the artificial with the natural, but here we're just going to show you how to rig it up. With the help of the internet, you could probably type in any river or stream or lake or whatever asking for the aquatic life, and you will probably get tons of hits. Also, the local fly shops. Of course, the fly shops have a vested interest in selling you some flies, and that's okay too. And they can tell you what to use or what's hitting and what the water's running like or whatever. Okay, I tied on a copper beadhead pheasant tail nymph. It looks like it's about a size 16, and it's tied at the end of an 8.5 foot leader and tippet combination. That is the length you want to start out with. When you start specializing, then you can change your leader length. But for trout fishing, in almost all cases, this is what you start out with. 8.5 feet of leader tippet combination. And then you're going to put a split shot up. And I usually put it about 8 to 10 inches up. We'll do that in a second here. Okay, I got the beadhead pheasant tail there. I got my number 6 split shot there. Now the next thing you're going to have to put on is a strike indicator, because the fish are going to be feeding in their feeding lanes. These are not fish are going to grab you and tug you and tell you that there's something down below. These are wild fish. They put something in their mouth, they don't like it, they're going to spit it right out at you. So I'm going to put a strike indicator. A strike indicator will indicate when there's a possibility of a trout on there. If you see your strike indicator deviate from any type of natural flow, set the hook. When in doubt, set the hook, because if you miss that strike, that fish is not going to hit again, believe it or not. Okay, the strike indicator is going to go twice the guesstimated depth of the water. So let's say we're fishing on the Rio Costilla, average depth about 2 feet. I'm going to put the strike indicator about maybe 4 feet above the fly. How about right there? We'll do that in a second here. Okay, these are just run-of-the-mill strike indicators that you can pick up in any fly shop. Nowadays, a lot of guys used to like to fish with these big, huge cork contraptions or balls and stuff like that. I don't find them very effective for casting. I tell people, use the smallest indicator you can see, because you're going to cast this thing out. If you're a good caster, 20, 30 feet, and work your presentation through the drift. And you don't want it to be too big, because if it's too big, it's too loud. It'll hit that water, it's going to splash. You want to be very subtle about your presentation. Anyway, but this kind of strike indicator, you peel it off this wax paper type backing, fold it over the line, and just give it a squeeze. And that should hold pretty much for your days of fishing right there. Okay, let's imagine that we're tying this for the San Juan. Here's that beadhead pheasant tail. I could use this in the San Juan, believe it or not, but I'd use it probably in a size 18 and down above crusher hole area to imitate the betas that exist in the water. Then what I would do is I would tie a piece of fluorocarbon onto the bend of that hook. Think of the bend of the hook as a half an eye. Now I'd have maybe about 12 inches, 13 inches of 6X, and I would put my little chocolate emerger on there. And that's about a size 22 we're looking at right there. The strike indicator, I would probably move it up a little bit too, maybe about another foot. And that will work for me in the San Juan. If you have any questions, please post them down below in the description, and I'll try to get to them. This is a handout that I would give to my workshops that I used to do. We're going to concentrate on the lower part of that where it says nymph. This is just how to rig it up like we've been talking about for the past few minutes here. A nymph is at the end of an 8.5 foot leader tippet combination. 8 inches to 10 inches above the nymph, you have the split shot, which is a number 6. And above that is a strike indicator, and it goes twice the guesstimated depth of the water from the nymph. When you get to the stream, cast your presentation upstream and let the current do its job. Here's Barney with his nice brown trout. Let the current do its job. Follow the drift as it's coming down. Here's my cousin, Bill from Brownsville, Texas, and she's letting the current do its job. And when she sees the strike and deviate from any type of movement, she sets the hook. Here she is with a really nice rainbow trout from the San Juan. The current is your ally here. Here's Todd again, just letting the current do its job. Toss it upstream, let the current take it down as just like a natural insect would. And here's Todd with one of the many fish he's taken from the San Juan. Thank you for watching.